Japan is one of the most highly developed countries in the modern world. This state is located on islands in the eastern part of Asia. In terms of population, Japan ranks 10th among the countries of the world. The population of the country is characterized by a high level of urbanization. Japan is a country with a high standard of living. This level is provided by a highly developed economy. The country is one of the G7 countries. Japan today is one of the most highly developed countries with huge economic, scientific, technical and financial potential. Japan has a low percentage of poverty and crime and a high level of employment. According to data at the end of August 2021, the unemployment rate was 2.2%. For comparison, for the same period of time in the United States, the unemployment rate was 8.5%. In terms of GDP, Japan ranked third in the world at the beginning of 2021 and was second only to the United States and China. The dynamics of changes in this indicator in 2010-2018 is shown in the diagram. The size of Japan's GDP is significantly influenced by the volume of exports of electrical engineering, electronics, and mechanical engineering products. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, Japan's economy is currently in a rather sluggish state. The Prime Minister of Japan talked about the country's economic policy at the last summit. The main philosophy of his economic policy is a beneficial cycle of growth and distribution. He noted that he seeks to create a new form of capitalism in which individual income increases and everyone shares the benefits of economic growth. In addition, according to the Prime Minister, Japan will work to reduce the gap between urban and rural areas. Speaking about the global fight against coronavirus, the Prime Minister said that Japan has decided to supply about 60 million doses of the vaccine worldwide. He also stressed the need for the G20 countries to work together to get vaccines to where they are needed. Economic problems are situations in a country that may require additional expenses or lead to losses in the economy. The aging of the Japanese population is a serious threat to increasing labor productivity in the future. The Japanese nation is aging much faster than the population of any other country in the world. The aging of the nation leads to a reduction in the working age population. The size of the workforce is decreasing. One of the most important economic problems of Japan is the extremely limited amount of mineral resources. On its territory, mining is carried out mainly limestone, sulfur, oil, zinc and lead ores, coal. Those deposits that have been known for a long time have already been almost completely exhausted. Another problem of Japan is the growth of protectionism around the world. If the number of such measures increases, it will hurt Japan. Japan's export industries are the strongest and most efficient, so a reduction in exports would affect the level of productivity, economic growth, and would call into question Japan's economic leadership. New industrial countries challenge Japan in productivity and quality. Asian industrial countries, South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Singapore have become serious competitors on a global scale, exporting computers and cars. The products of Japanese companies are no longer the undisputed leader in the field of advanced technologies. In addition, Japan cannot afford to discount Australia, which has had high economic indicators for a long time, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia, which have enough potential for development, as well as new industrial countries in other regions of the world, for example, Brazil. There are inefficient industries in the Japanese economy, which negatively affects the level of productivity. If we take into account trade, agriculture, and transport, the relative productivity in Japan will be 70% of the American per employee. If Japan expects to maintain high rates of economic growth, it must find ways to increase labor productivity in these relatively inefficient sectors, especially in the service sector, which accounts for 60% of Japan's GNP. Until Japan increases labor productivity in agriculture, transport, and trade, these industries will drag the economy down. Despite the fact that Japan has a low unemployment rate and a high share of GDP per capita, the country has a number of problems, such as a shortage of natural resources, an aging population, and the emergence of new strong competitors. Time will show us how the land of the rising sun will cope with the economic problems.